quick housekeeping before we start, I guess. If you can be on camera, that'd be fantastic because this is really an interactive, engaging event that we have set up, and we have some great updates for you, but we'd love to see your beautiful faces as well. So as we get started, many of you know me. Those of you don't, my name is Malik Monkid. I'm the Executive Director of the Circle of Life Coach Institute. And it's an honor and privilege to be amongst you guys and gals. And thank you for taking the time out of your busy day to be with us today. We have a fantastic agenda planned for you. Before we jump into that, just wanted to do some introductions and have everybody introduced. So first, we can have the team share from their in terms of themselves and their roles. So Roger, I'll kick it off to you first, and then we'll kind of follow through from there.
Hi, everybody. What a treat to see you. I recognize so many friendly faces from either recently or even long ago. Thank you so much for being here. So the Circle of Life is, was founded in the 1980s, and we've trained lots and lots of coaches, and many of you have been coaching, and you're probably interested in what's happening next. I am founder with Rebecca, and a coach and a coach trainer, and really excited about, what happened to the world and how much is coaching needed now. I'll hand it back to you, Malik.
All right, thank you very much. Over to you, Rebecca.
Well, hi, everyone. It's so, my heart just wide open seeing all of you. So many of you haven't seen you for years. And, Circle of Life is in its next incarnation, and we're really excited about that. It's Malik and Kalind have stepped in. Malik is our director, and we're really excited about taking it in a bigger way to the world. And I know that all of you are bringing your light and your energy to the world. And again, as Roger was saying, more than ever, we need that. And we really feel like the Circle of Life is a process that can really support people in taking their, becoming more resilient, having greater health, bringing that light and energy and their own sovereignty and power to this world. So we're just really grateful to have you all here.
Thank you, Rebecca. Over to you, Kalind.
Thank you. My name is Kalind Bakshi, and I'm absolutely indebted and grateful to Roger and Rebecca for, bringing this gift out to the world. Circle of Life has been a tremendous gift, and it's coming out and it's forming newer pathways and newer things. So my role basically in this is I'm also a coach and trainer, and I support the program part of it. But more importantly, Rebecca showed me the pathway to become a board certified coach. So I followed that up, and I do that type of work, do certification, credentialing, all that, and help out with the team. So it's a fantastic opportunity for me as well to be with the team, and I welcome you all. Malik.
Thank you very much, Kalind. Again, my name is Malik Monkid. I'm the Executive Director, and I'm also a Circle of Life coach and coach trainer. Really honored to be part of this unbelievable team. And as Rebecca mentioned, Roger mentioned, Kalind mentioned, we've kind of taken the next step. There have been challenges during the last few months with COVID and everything like that, but we have had an opportunity to use that as a way to evolve and grow and really take some steps in a positive direction. And the goal for today is multifold, but two mainly. One is to really share how we're taking Circle Life Coach Institute forward and what it means to you. And number two, how we can support you. What are some avenues where we can collaborate, and where are some opportunities where you can really gain by partnering and connecting and leveraging Circle Life for your own growth as a coach and beyond. So that's really the purpose of today. And first of all, I'll turn it over to, before I turn it over to Kalind, I'd love to have everybody just introduce themselves, share their name, kind of when you got certified or when you took the Circle of Life training, if you have any details related to that, and also where you're located. So just a couple of 10, 15 seconds introduction, and if it's all right with everybody, I'm just going to go in alphabetical order based on the names that are listed and just unmute you, call out your name, and you can share it. That way we can kind of go through this smoothly. So first of all, I'd like to turn over to Alea, if you can share, please. If you can unmute yourself, please. There you
Okay. My name is Alea Sham, and I live in Evergreen, Colorado. And I did the online certification that was started about this time last year, I think, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I completed my certification somewhere in the spring, about when COVID hit.
All right, thank you, Alea. And over to you, Beverly.
Hi, Rebecca.
Hey, Beverly.
Rebecca, I have no idea when I did the training, but
Like probably 2008.
okay. So
Yeah,
my name
yeah.
is Beth Swanson, and I live in Manitoba, Canada, just south of Winnipeg in a rural community. And I traveled to Edmonton way back when to do the Circle of Life training. And prior to that, and still now, I've been coaching with my own coaching business, and I've incorporated the Circle of Life to do some group coaching. Mostly I'm just working one-on-one in my own business, but with the group coaching Circle of Life. And I've also used it for, as a tool in my one-on-one at times as well. I haven't done a group for a long time, and I would like to, and I've been thinking prior to all of this, what a good idea it would be to get this going online right now with everything that's going on. So I'm happy for this call.
Yeah, good to see you.
Wonderful. Over to you, Deanna Hodgson.
Hey, I'm Deanna Hodgson. I live in Phoenix, Arizona.
Deanna, we're having a hard time hearing you.
Okay, is that better? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me?
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. I'll get a little closer to this computer here. Okay, but since I took the training, there were any number of surgeries and deaths and so forth that went on. So I really wasn't able to get certified yet, but I am doing it now. In fact, I have a client this afternoon. I have found this to be the most transformative experience, even more than teaching the Qigong and the Tai Chi, because it's part of it, of helping people really change their lives in remarkable ways. Absolutely remarkable. I am loving it. And so I appreciate your putting this together so I can learn more, because marketing is something that I'm really not good at.
Wonderful. Thank you, Deanna. Over to Deanna Torres.
Hi, everybody. I'm in California, around the Sacramento area. I recognize at least 3 or 4 people on here from the training. That was the most recent one. I did not yet get certification happening. I think I missed the window on that because COVID hit. And I've been just kind of actually laying low. I haven't had very many clients come in at all. I mean, the first 3 months, my phone didn't ring at all. And I was like, that's okay. I started writing a book. So that's what I'm doing right now. I was like, I wondered, did COLCI just drop off the map? What happened? So I was like I actually saw the email this morning. I don't know if it was, you guys have been trying to get to me and it got lost or what, but anyway, I thought, yeah, let's check in and see what's happening. So.
Awesome, wonderful. Over to you, Jackie.
Hi, everyone. I love seeing your faces. So good to see you, Rebecca.
Oh my gosh, what a surprise. Yeah.
Awesome. And hi, Roger. I guess my history with COL starts with Rebecca and I getting teamed up together at the National Wellness Conference in Wisconsin, which is where I live. And we together facilitated the coaching academy at the conference, the initial coaching academy, which lasted for well over 10 years. It went on. And then I believe it was 2008 or 10, somewhere in there, that I got trained in COL as a coach. And then several years later became a facilitator and was able to do one of the sessions, one of the trainings at the National Wellness Conference. And just trying to stay connected in my own business. I do life coaching and use this tool with groups and individuals throughout the years. It's been a wonderful resource to have.
Yes.
So thank you. So
Yes.
I'm just happy to connect. I'm really grateful that you put this call together so we can see others who are on this journey.
Mhm. Yeah, thank you.
Great
Thanks.
to see you.
All right. And over to you, Jennifer.
Hi, everyone. Sorry I can't be on video right now, but I'm excited to be here. And let's see, I did the training 3 years ago, I think. And I'm in Bloomington, Indiana. And I have been using it mostly with individuals. And I also have been teaching Qigong and Tai Chi pretty regularly for a number of years. And I've also been working with kids, and I look forward to having a discussion or working with anyone who wants to adapt or to look at the circle as it could potentially apply to working with kids.
Wonderful. Over to you, Joyce.
Hi. Hey, Rebecca.
Hey, Joyce. We go way back.
My God, I can't even remember. Somewhere early 2000s, I'm
Yep.
certified. I was a facilitator. I've been using the Circle of Life for years, not exclusively, but certainly all the assessment tools where there's none like it. So I've been coaching. I live in Atlanta. So I've had a wellness center at the time, I think, with Rebecca.
Yeah.
And so now I'm actually just coaching and doing some things online. So I'm happy to be back and be part of you again, hopefully.
I know, it's wonderful.
All right. Over to you, Karen.
Hi there, everyone, and Rebecca and Roger and Kalend. How are you? Good to see you. I did the first online COL program, and good to see some of my other classmates here. Love seeing that. I have not used my certification yet on COL. I can't get out of the way of Tai Chi, which has exploded, Roger. You opened up our Southeast portal. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. So I need to talk to you, Roger. I just picked up 2 more classes this week that I didn't want to do, but they kept badgering me. So that's going on. Roger, we've got a 200-day gong going on here. On the 3rd of October, it'll be 200 days in a row, nonstop. So I want to talk to you. Maybe you'll talk to my class.
Yes, please.
We're Zooming. So anyway, once maybe this quiets down or it doesn't, I still want to add COL and coaching, and I've picked up a meditation certification as well that I want to incorporate with the COL, blend those 2 together. They're kind of like multiple versions of the lifeboat metaphor.
Excellent.
Meditation. So
Excellent.
kind of all go together, but then can create a coaching program. So
Perfect.
just working towards that. So thank you.
Thank you.
Over to you, Kelly.
Thank you. Lovely to be with you all. Hi, Roger, Rebecca, Kalind, Molek, and Rhonda. So I did the certification training last year and have not yet been certified because, as one of our colleagues here said, COVID. But in the meantime, I have been teaching, anywhere from 5 to 8 online Qigong and Tai Chi Easy classes or courses every week. So I have a lot of online teaching right now. And I'm coaching people how to teach online. A lot of that, and coaching people who are in their Tai Chi and Qigong training process or early in their teaching years and who are looking for continued mentorship and support. So do quite a bit of that. And I'm also on the board of directors of the Healer Within Foundation and very glad to be part of the training team for the pilot online Tai Chi Easy teacher training or practice leader training program, which starts on Saturday. So that's taking up a whole bunch of very well spent time and energy, and very grateful to be contributing to that.
Thank you.
All right, over to you, Michael.
Hi, everyone. I'm Michael. I live in New Mexico. I completed the training, the most recent one that we had last year and the end of this year. COVID, of course, with everyone else, it kind of got in the way. So I haven't had a chance to be certified, but I'm now starting to do a lot on Zoom. So I have some Qigong and Tai Chi classes. Started off with some family and friends, and then pretty soon it was, well, can so-and-so join and can so-and-so join? And now it's kind of mushrooming into something bigger. And I'm marketing classes here on the Navajo Nation where I live. So I'm really happy to be here. I want to continue to follow up with this process, and particularly interested in how I can get into a position where I'm helping to teach other people to be teachers, particularly here on the Navajo Nation.
Wonderful.
Nice, thank you.
Over to you, Rhonda.
Morning, everybody, or it's afternoon in some places. I'm Rhonda Ritchie. I was first certified. Actually, I've taken the Circle of Life training twice. I certified in 2011. I think I needed like extra support it was worth it every time to go through it, because you grow every time you go through a training. In 2018, I went through another coach training with another organization that was more faith-based, and that what that did is it's like the intuition really came forth. It's like if you hear something, when your client's saying something to you, it's like your nose perks up. It's like, oh, okay, this is where we can go. And the great thing about coaching is it helps someone feel seen and heard and understood. And that's a rare gift in this time now because of social isolation. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm not currently really coaching clients, but like if people call IIQTC or need help, then there's some coaching in that. It's just like opening, it's like, where do you want to go with what you're asking me? So I'm glad to be here. I think I've emailed probably every one of you at some point in my career, and it's so good to see everybody's face. So thank you.
Thank you, Rhonda. Over to you, Tom.
Hello, I'm Tom, and I'm in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi, Rebecca. It's been a long time.
Really long time.
I had classes with both Roger and Rebecca at Esalen in that beautiful setting. It had to be before 2010.
Yeah.
But I really don't know exactly what year. But
it was like 2005, I think.
Okay, and then Joyce, I think you and I talked on the phone years ago because we're both here in Atlanta. So I'm not actively practicing, but Rebecca has been kind enough to keep me on her email list. So I got this wonderful invitation in it, and I've always, been respectful and honored this process, and it's definitely influenced my thinking and interaction with family and friends. But I'm very interested in what's going to be next, and I somehow Rebecca hasn't aged. Roger, you gotten a little grayer like me. But anyway, it's good to see you all. I look forward to hearing what's going on.
Thank you. So good to see you, Tom.
All right. Last but not the least, over to you, Walter. Walter, we can't hear you, unfortunately. Mm-mm.
Walter, we love you, but I think what we'll do is we'll probably hear from you later. In the meantime, go to your preferences and see if you can do a little tinkering with the audio. The audio going up, which will have to do with your microphone. It sounds like you're hearing us okay, and so glad you're here. Malik, back to you.
Yes, thank you, Roger. So as we kick off today's agenda, and first of all, welcome everyone, and thank you for sharing a little bit about yourself, and it's good to see everybody. I'll actually turn it over to Kalin to first kind of touch on what we have been able to do thus far over the last couple of years, and then we'll kind of progress into what we're doing going forward and how that applies to you. So over to you, Kalin.
Thank you, Maulik. And as I mentioned, Raja and Rebecca, we were thinking of doing this online initially, entire online. And after a couple of tries with finding out some good partners and not so good partners, we finally came to a conclusion that we will do a little bit of online, and let's try that. So it was a big, interesting experiment and learning, a lot of learning for me, because Raja and Rebecca, they really held our hands, and we created an entire new curriculum for the pilot program. So there were 2 pilot programs done, and that was wonderful experience, because we learned a lot of things about technology, Zoom, and so on and so forth. I mean, making all mistakes that we did. And then we also conducted like 2 sessions in India. So we have some India COL certifications there as well. But interesting part about that was that was great, but then all of a sudden, COVID came in and the rest of the stuff. So, and it became very clear that it would be much better to go to a newer type of model. So after a lot of discussions on this, and what we are about to hear is a hybrid program where, you'll have one phase that will be self-learning, and it's all a lot of wonderful, wonderful videos that Roger, Rebecca did, and Maulik and I did. But more importantly, there is also phase 2. And so we'll get into that description of it. And we're really, really excited to really bring this new version, which will be so much easier for people, not so much extra time commitment also, because they can move at their own pace. So having said that, I'm just bringing you up to date to what happened. And I'm going to turn over to Maulik to present the hybrid part of it, though. Maulik.
Thank you very much, Kalin. I appreciate that. So what I'm going to do is just a quick demo of our hybrid coaching program. The first part, as Kalin mentioned, is a self-paced version, which is basically set up on an online portal where there's a series of videos, and you really walk through the actual program. You have all the resources that are set up for somebody to do it at their own leisure, and especially that's something that's important this day and age. So I'm going to share the framework of the platform, and this is going to be launching early next week on Monday, and we will have that available for people to register going forward. And then I'll have Kalin share the second half. So I'm going to do a quick screen share. Pardon me real quick. So first and foremost, what we have set up is a coach portal. It's a program portal where we're going to have multiple coaching programs, but the one that we have in place is this is the phase 1 of the Circle of Life program, which we have set up, where you can access this. And it's a pretty nice, clean setup. And I'll go into the actual program itself and the setup that we have here in terms of the different lessons and how the videos are for specific areas. And you can register right here, and it will take you directly into the portal, and you can start the learning process. So this is something that is the phase 1 part of the program, that individuals that simply want to experience the coaching process. This is where you really learn how to apply the Circle of Life process for yourself. So it is applicable to anybody and everybody that they can take advantage of in this particular area. Now, I'm going to do a quick screen share of what the actual portal looks like is for an enrolled student, where each one of these, there's an introduction video where all of us have kind of introduced the program. And then each one of this lesson has specific sections that walk you through and walks the participant through the full Circle of Life program. As a matter of fact, we have even included coaching demonstrations of the actual blueprint from different individuals focused on different areas, done by Rebecca, Roger, Colin, and myself. So this is a comprehensive coaching program for individuals that want to really experience the power of Circle of Life. Not only that, we've also included self-care practices that individuals in between each lesson will have a chance to experience that along the way. So this is something that's fantastic. It is fully self-paced, and there's a way to go from one lesson to the other, and there are quizzes included as well, so that people really feel engaged as part of the process. The registration fee for the early bird is, we have set it as $3.99 for this Circle of Life program for the phase 1, where anybody that wants to experience the Circle of Life coaching process. So we just wanted to kind of give you this highlight and share this with you about what we have available to individuals that want to experience this. And this is also going to be a component to the refresher part. So I'm going to turn it over to Colin real quick to talk about the phase 2, which is a coach training certification part of it and how that's going to flow. So over to you, Colin.
Thank you, Maulik. And the beauty of COL training, and I've been through a number of other coaching, schools. I have about 3 or 4 coaching schools, but this is a very beautiful setup that you first experience the coach, being coached. And unless you go through that, you don't really recognize how the clients are going to feel. So once you go through the phase 1, and all of you have most of you have done that, but this is a clear separation. Then the phase 2 begins after that. Now, not everybody may want to go to phase 2, but those who want to go to phase 2, that's wonderful, because then it is also conducted live now. This is a live session, and all the trainers that you see here and possibly more will see. But then you have live training, and most important part of that is that it will be developing into a masterful, really great COL coach. All the coaching skills, and that would be included. And interesting thing is that we were very mindful of keeping the hours balanced, because going forward, all these certifications and accreditations we talk about, they are very careful about what face-to-face number of hours you have, and what is without the trainer. So we were very mindful to create that balance, and the balance is included in the phase 2. And once you do the phase 2 and become, then there are, of course, the latter part is very similar. Many of you have done the certification, are familiar with the requirements of that. So we're not going to go into that right now, but I'll mention that this process is very streamlined to go further. So on that, Maulik, back to you.
Thank you very much. And again, that training is going to be on Zoom. So it is going to be virtually live, which you will have access to. And like we have done before that, we're going to include recordings of those sessions, and those will be available to coaches that participate in that. And the second aspect is really the refresher component of it. And Colin, if you can kind of just talk about how these two piece together, and the flexibility that coaches have to engage in one, two, or one, first one, second one, or combine.
Well, I have my own philosophy over a number of years since I learned Circle of Life from Roger, and I refresh my circle every day. It's a new circle every day. So refresher is a very different meaning for me, but what happens is every time I look at it, I learn something new. And along the lines, what we have created is something that we say we will have a portion of refresher where anytime you do something, something new is awareness comes from within. And so refresher course has also been given a very importance, and this usually will become depending upon what part you want to refresh. That is the important question that you may need to ask yourself, or any of the coaches. Is it the phase 1 part that you want to go brush up because there's been changes? Rebecca and Roger, they have done a lot of polishing again, from the previous thing. So that's number 1. And second part is the phase 2, which is the coaching skills. And we have tried to match the coaching masteries that are, comparable and even better. Some of them are even better than what you see in ICF and ISC and all that. I'm really fond of studying all that stuff and making sure that COL remains there, So you have that portion included, along with something else that is coaching ethics. These things are being looked at very carefully by the accreditation bodies. So we've been very careful to sort of include many of these in the live training, and particularly the refresher part. So that's it. Oleg.
All right, thank you very much. Last but not the least, I will do a quick share. Some of you may be already familiar with this, but we also have a Circle of Life Coach Institute website, which we're constantly updating. I would highly recommend you, share your name and email so we can, keep you updated as we have new developments. We have details about the Institute and the formalization of that, how coaching and you is related. There's some wonderful videos by Rebecca and Roger in this regard. Also, there is information about the program and the certification process that we have set up. So we just want to mention that colci.org is the website. So something that we would highly recommend you check out and have a look at, because we're going to be adding more and more value-added information on there. And of course, it's a great place to access updates about the programs and initiatives that we're going to be coming forward with. So just wanted to share that. If it's all right with everybody, just wanted to open up to any questions or clarifications related to what we covered thus far. We want to make sure we address those along the way before we move on to the next part of the conversation.
I'd like to ask a question.
Sure.
So if you're starting the phase 1 on Monday, when do you plan to do the live part? The phase 2?
Kalin?
Yeah, since it is self-paced, and the way it is set up is you go through one lesson to the, they're called lessons, by the way, one lesson to this next lesson, and then move on, and there is some quizzes included. So everybody will have a little different pace. And we will probably put an approximation, say 6 weeks or 8 weeks or something like that. And we will do, X number of like 2 or 3 setups where we will do live, because then we will have a group finishing more or less in a similar time frame. And so we will have
so approximately 8 weeks from.
Approximately, that's the approximation. And I will invite Rebecca or Roger to also, mention about how their input.
I have another question, is that when I introduced myself, I didn't mention I am doing coaching currently, and one of my clients is somebody that's very interested in becoming a coach. She is an immigrant from India living in Canada and does not have the financial resources to do any kind of training. So it was ironic, I was talking to her today about researching scholarships. And then I thought, well, I don't know what's going on here, but I'll find out. And I think she'd be an excellent coach, but so I just wanted to know if scholarships are a possibility.
I can say that we've discussed scholarships, but that we haven't reached a conclusion. And I think it's a very powerful question. And interestingly enough, we're involved with a nonprofit that was originally designed to deliver the Circle of Life. And so that nonprofit, the Healer Within Foundation, is currently very focused on Tai Chi. And so there may be a time in the future, I know you're talking about now, So I don't think we have a recommendation, and I know that we don't have a scholarship fund. At some point, we will probably have a scholarship fund, and then we can, through the COLCI, be able to respond to this. I would invite you to stay in touch, however, and maybe contact Moloch directly and, you know, begin this discussion in earnest because we've been so busy on curriculum and program development that we haven't really been able to focus on what we all deeply believe, which is that, you know, these things are very important for communities of people who are otherwise not able to access, you know, the power of these trainings. So thank you so much for asking. And then I want to just go on to ask a question. Maybe we get a little clarification, because I'm going to guess that everybody was left, or I was left, with a little bit of unclarity about refresher. And maybe I probably don't even know the answer, so I'm going to just stumble for like 30 seconds, and then Moloch and Colin, you can clarify. So to me, refresher means that I've been through the course before, and now I want to go through the course again. Is that correct?
Yes, pretty much so. And many times what does happen is that, you know, I've seen I want to polish my skills. I want to, you know, redo. I've not done the coaching for a while, and I want to do that again. So refresher is really the personal feelings about how confident you feel about, you know, doing, and you want to go further. And you want to go further with the latest, you know, support that's available.
Got it. And then I don't know if we've actually settled on this, so it may be a provocative question, and Moloch, you'll just say, we'll let you know later. For people who've been through this training already, is there some kind of an arrangement for them pricing-wise?
Yes, that's a great question, Roger. I just received that question from one of the participants, and what our goal is to really gauge the support, because that really allows us to ensure we can you know, create some possibilities for individuals. So our goal would be, if you're interested, I would request you send a quick chat message to me privately, and I can note that down. And our goal would be to make it more approachable for individuals that are coaches already. And we just want to make sure that it's something that is actually desired, and we set it up for success for everybody. So please let us know if you're interested in either phase 1 or phase 2, and we can include the special pricing for coaches when we send out the marketing email about the details. So that's what I would say.
Thank you.
I have a question. On phase 2, what if an individual has been coaching and knows what their strengths are, but there are certain areas that they really would like help with? It could be anything from how to handle a group in Zoom to marketing to, you know, any aspect of it. Could there be sections that one could buy or participate in, or do you have to do the whole thing?
Currently, we're not set up with the curriculum in that fashion. Curriculum is going to be phase 2 for the people who want to become coaches.
Okay.
But your point is well taken, and you know, we would consider something on a required individual basis, because this may go into like 4 or 5 different directions. You know, it may go in a direction of certification, maybe ethics, maybe group coaching, like you're saying. It may go towards one of the skill sets, you know, listening, whatever. So it can be multiple possibilities. And so I believe, and you know, I'll appreciate Rebecca's input also, but I believe that it probably will be individualized as to what your needs are.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Say something, Rebecca.
Hey, how's it going? That's what Moloch said I was supposed to say. Yes, I think, that's a good suggestion, Dan, because there are some different things you want to maybe focus on, but we don't have it set up that way yet. We're kind of like, we're just gradually like, again, it keeps morphing because we're like, as life is going, changing with what we can do and trying out different things. The second part, the phase 2, since most of you've taken the training, the original training was about 26 hours and now it's more like 40 or 42. So there's much more in-depth work with listening and reflecting and coaching skills in part 2 than there was previously. And I think that's all I have to say about that.
Well, and I'll mention that we're also very attuned to the idea of continuing education and skills development, advanced skills development. And so I don't know if this is the recommendation, Deanne, but I'll just say it as a possible pathway. My question was, will there be a refresher rate? And so that's a discount. And so it's very possible that if you think about a refresher rate being a discount plus what's been added in to the program for part 2 that you may not have had exposure to, in the final analysis, it might be, and I'm not saying that anybody should anything, I'm just suggesting that it might be worthy to shall we say, take advantage of that discount and then work your way through the program as a refresher to get the parts that you think you're missing, plus the parts that everybody missed because there's new stuff in there, plus the part that you also feel comfortable with, which will probably be restated. And and we all know, or most of us know, those of us who've worked with Qigong and Tai Chi certainly know, that people say, well, you never said that before, or I didn't hear you say that the last time I was in this class. But I did say that the last time you were in this class. And so there's something about how we listen the second time through. Mm-hmm. So, I'm just rambling, but, and there's no specific answer, but I think that the texture is that we're very interested in supporting everyone who's ever been a coach, trained through this process, everyone who's been trained to be a coach in another process, and everyone who's never been a coach and wants to be trained. So, we have like a very global vision for the Circle of Life. And I'll just mention that so many people who have studied the Circle of Life, but have also been in other systems of coaching, often will say that, everything that I've done in coaching has been fascinating for me, but that Circle of Life process sticks in my mind as a kind of anchor that has been quite profound for me over the years. And so that's a pitch, but it's a pitch based on feedback from people, and I better mute myself.
I had a question about CEUs, which make a program very much more people wanting to sign up because they get CEUs of all kinds of caregivers. So I was just wondering if you see that you'll be doing that, offering CEUs for the program in the future.
Yes, I can address to that. There is a process for the CEUs.
Yeah.
I'm Joyce. You and I, we are on the same team on the BCC. So you know what I'm talking about. There is a whole lot of activity going on into saying what the ICF believes in, how much they believe in the BCC and the CCE portion of it, with Patrick Williams really actively advising all of that process. I will say one thing, that Circle of Life Coach Institute is registered on the CCE, as one of the institutions. And so once people go through the basic COL certification, they will have the requirements to proceed with the BCC part of it. Of course, there are other requirements, as you know. They have to be in practice, some coaching and peer reviews, and there's an exam and things like that. There's 3 or 4 other steps. But the steps are clear moving forward from that point. As far as the CCU units are concerned, continuing education units are concerned, there's a special application process that we will undertake going forward. And this can be done in different areas. It could be done in, like, for example, the main COL, or it can be done in, skill sets, things like that. So we can offer, at that point, there's so many CEUs out there. And Rebecca was working with another set of CEUs, Intuition, I believe, right?
Yeah, intuition and mind-body practices.
Mind-body practice, she's working with that. So yes, we have that program. It's definitely in the works. Thank you for asking, though. Absolutely.
I'd like to say something that I know you guys are not ready for, but I really get. I think it's wonderful that you've come up with the program that you've come up with so far. And as that program grows and the community of coaches doing this grows, I would love to see a community membership where we met once a month it was some sort of mini lesson and sharing, which to me would be phase 3. So that's what I would love to have with this community.
Excellent, thank you.
I agree. That is exactly what I would love, because then we could address specific issues and share experiences.
Fantastic.
Yeah. We could turn our stumbling blocks into stepping stones, which is what I wanted.
We want to do that.
And you know that we have a Facebook page, or those of you who've been in the recent pilot versions know that we have a Facebook page, and it is our intention to share access to that Facebook page with those of you who were trained in earlier iterations. And so that is a forum that exists right now for those kinds of interactions. And I know I'm available to be responsive. I won't say that Rebecca is. I'm not sure about that. But there's, so we have phase 1 of what you're asking for. And so what I would suggest is, because I know that both of you were in the recent pilots, is head on over to Facebook, put in Circle of Life, a bunch of stuff will come up because we've got a few pages there. But you find the group, you've been familiar with it in the past, and then Malik, I'm going to assume that you're going to send out that Facebook address, although that I think anybody can put that into Facebook, go to the group, and ask to become admitted as a member. So you don't have to wait for Malik to tell you how to get there, but I think Malik will also support us by giving that address, and then we can all engage there. Rhonda.
Just a comment. I'm in a mastermind group, and one of the things that they do that I think that this could possibly work in this scenario is, I liked the idea about what phase 3, getting together where there could be a teaching, but then there could also have, like, if you needed support, then you would let them know, the group leader know in advance that this is what you needed support around in that particular coaching environment. So therefore you'd get the wisdom of the group to help with whatever it is, plus some teaching. And you can do it in an hour, because I've seen it work. So that's just one thing you could do with that whole thing. I really like that idea, because it's like specificity. I mean, there are some common issues, and that could be the teaching, but there are some very specific ones too. So that could work. So that's all I wanted to share.
Good point.
I have a question. I'm just wondering if phase 1 is much different, the refresher, than what we know. And what's the email address if we are interested in taking that as alumni? Where do we send that email off to?
So I'll answer the second part. Beverly, if you can just send a quick chat message that you're interested, I'll make sure that if your email is in the Zoom list of registrants, I'll be able to pull that from that and reach out to you. In terms of the content, I'll let the master coaches here share in relation to what it was to what it is now. So Rebecca, Roger, and Colin, over to you guys.
Yeah, I think, well, phase one, we have 4 instructors instead of me. And it's all of it's just a little bit more refined and a little bit, more elaborated on. So it's the same process, but there's, some little tweaks and maybe just a little bit more in depth about each aspect. And so as a coach, you can, the way that we take you through it, you can see there's a little bit more refinement about how you would work with yourself, of course, but work with your clients. So yes, it is a little bit more expanded on, and it's a little bit different. It's different because we have 4 different trainers instead of just me. So you get a little bit different perception, a different way of working, and a little more yin and yang on it, So yeah, so that's how it's different. So I think it's valuable to kind of redo it again. Like Roger was saying, you take something, I took a training recently that I took 20 years ago, and it really wasn't that much different, but I'm different. And so I heard it differently and I applied it differently. So yeah, does that answer your question? Okay, good.
Did I hear that phase 1 begins Monday, this coming Monday?
Yeah, so registration will be opening on Monday, and it's self-paced, so you'll be able to proceed with that as per your leisure in that regard.
And can people join later?
Yes, anytime.
Yes.
So they can come on anytime at all.
Absolutely.
You have sessions.
Right. So because the phase 1, which is online in terms of experiencing the coaching process, it is fully self-learning. There's no Zoom meetings or anything of that nature. The program is set up where the person is being coached through the video, and you're going through the process accordingly, and it's as per your discretion and your pace. What Colin mentioned in terms of phase 2, our goal is to kind of map out a few dates where we will be having the phase 2, and then people, depending on the number of individuals, because again, we want to have the group component involved, we'll be launching those and announcing those, and people can join those.
So if I wanted to spread the word about this and market this in this region, do you have materials that would help me with that?
Yes, we can connect, Michael, and provide you some information and kind of curate some things specific to your needs and to market that. And we have some aspects of some affiliate partnerships as well that we're going to go into in a little bit. So that could be something that will be of interest to you as well.
Right.
I have another little bit of an angle where what Rebecca mentioned, and something came to my mind is as we created this course, it's a little different. When we had the initial pilot one, everybody was in front of us. We were talking to them. This we were talking to somebody not present at all. I'm just doing some coaching. So we had to really map out our timings so that, okay, we give a little time for them to do a little bit of tool set, for example. Okay, now you go map up your circle. So it's delivered in a very different style, as if I'm talking to the whole audience there. And so you'll see a lot of little nuances there. And the advantage there, particularly people who are going to take this up in coaching and Zoom later on, that's the style you will learn, different styles from Roger, Rebecca, me, and Molly, because we're all doing differently. But by the same token, you will also get that angle refreshed, because it's really done differently than what we did in pilot even.
And last point that I want to mention, because of the specific course program portal that we have set up, you have lifetime access to the material and the videos. So you can always go back to and refer to that at your convenience, saying, okay, I need to just brush up on the blueprint. I just need to see how the visualizations are focused on or metaphors are mentioned. You can go back to that section because go back to that lesson and a specific section within that lesson and review the video or download the material again if you need certain forms. So I think that's the other benefit, that it really allows you to have flexibility once you are enrolled to have access to this material going forward without any challenges.
Yeah, one more comment.
Sure.
Also, all the forms now are you can do it on your computer. They're electronic, except the circle assessment. So people don't have to print it out and, you know, get it back to you. So people are filling it out on their blueprint. They're assessing their readiness, and they can, you know, mail it to you, email it to you. So it makes it, you know, much easier to do with your Zoom calls and your group calls and your individual clients. And, you know, eventually we'll get the circle assessment done that way too.
Right. That's a work in progress. That you know, that's the next update that you should be receiving soon. But that's very true. And there are, again, PDF based forms in many cases, so you can actually share it with your clients and so on and so forth. So those are some benefits that are available. So that's one thing. Any other questions before we kind of move forward to the next parts of the gathering? All right. If anybody has any questions, you can always privately message me on the chat. So please feel free to do that. What we're going to just go through real quick. I know many of you, we had a lot of individuals who couldn't attend that actually were kind enough to fill out a survey, and we had a wonderful response. So I just want to share a couple of key slides and open up to any feedback that anybody has. In regards to some of the questions and the responses that we received, just to share it with you, because you guys and gals were wonderful enough to take the time out to attend, and there were others who couldn't, but they were kind enough to participate, and we had a fantastic response. So just wanted to share this so we can have a little bit of a conversation. One of the first questions was, what are the coaches up to in terms of the Circle of Life and how they're using it? And what we saw was largely that many individuals are using it for themselves. Some are coaching, and also others that are using it for their family and friends. And you see the percentage breakdown. We had some that are just kind of learning and still just reading the guidebook and so on and so forth. But we've had individuals who are using it actively. If we look at the percentage breakdown, we have a large portion of individuals that are using it either on themselves or within their community or with others, which is a fantastic level of engagement, which we're very happy about. And we're here to support that. The second one was in terms of needing additional support, and we had 75% of individuals say they needed additional support, and that's what we're here for. We want to re-engage really actively and be there for coaches, graduates, and whatever initiatives that you're choosing to pursue going forward. And last but not the least, what areas is the support needed? And overwhelmingly, one is related to the refresher course. And we had some others that were on relation to completing the certification, enhancing coaching skills, and also in the other, we had individuals that were interested in being trainers, and there were some questions related to this. So we just want to share with you what the larger community of coaches and graduates, what you all had to share, not just who's present here, but beyond that. We just want to open up to any feedback or anything that was not captured here. Would love to get your thoughts, or any of the executive team members, Roger, Rebecca, and Kalin, if you'd like to share in relation to that, please do so at this time.
Well, I hadn't seen this laid out so beautifully, and I think it's fantastic that we have for the request for a refresher course, we got it. So that's really excellent. And do people need assistance or guidance? Big answer, yes. And so here we are, ready to do that. So I'm gratified that what it is that our constituency is seeking is the top of the list for what it is that we're doing with new initiatives. Nice. Back to you, Malik.
Thank you, Roger, for that. And Kalind, this is something that we've had some great responses. I know as a follow-up, a couple of areas that would love your thoughts on in terms of one is collaboration, also specialty coaching. And I know these are frameworks and there's work in progress, but just some avenues for collaboration. If you can share about that, that would be fantastic.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. This is an exciting area because while the core curriculum, which Roger and Rebecca have really established for 20, 30, 40 years, core curriculum is now very well refined. There are some of you and many of you have gone beyond, including me in this situation, but there's so many coaches that I speak with, they've gone beyond that and have developed some niches, some specialties, some, excellent skill sets beyond just the, basic circle of life. And so the whole idea here was to invite people who have done this and open collaboration with the Coach Institute. And how it can work is to see what they've done and how Coach Institute can really help create a collaborative partnership. Now, this is just very preliminary, obviously, but it's an exciting area. And this way, the Institute will grow. And there will be a lot of support given, and some more details will come forth, obviously. And it will obviously depend upon, special areas. One of the things we are very mindful of, and Roger and Rebecca, we have had this discussion, is that because the core process of inside out coaching, the inside transformation manifesting into the outer life. So many people do come from the outer, situations, and we all go to say, okay, stress management or, bereavement or any of the other special areas, weight management, for example. Now is a symptom that people come through and we develop specialty courses, but we will make sure that the really important area of self-care and internal, process of what, energy management system is there that we have will actually manifest into those areas. So that we'll be mindful of, but we'll be really love to have that kind of collaboration going forward. So that's about that. Any other area that you were saying? That's one, right?
Just a quick note on that is that, we already had someone say, what can we do to modify, enhance, refine the circle of life process for kids, and so that kind of collaboration. In other words, if there's a coach out there who's inspired to work with the COLCI to refine a specific direction, I think that's what we're talking about here.
Yes. Thanks, Roger. That's true. So we'll be looking for, your input, and you'll say, okay, yeah, what about this? This is what I really am excited about. This is my passion. And you have been successful in it too. Many of the coaches I talked to, they've been so wonderfully successful out there too.
Thank you very much, Kalind. Also, one thing I just want to add, I know we have master classes that we also have created that will be available to the Circle of Life Coach Institute community, and we're specialty trainings, which coaching skills, those are also in the works. So those are some things that we wanted to put out there. Next thing that I just want to kind of free flowing, moving to the next step, is in terms of our affiliate partnership program. Really, the benefit for those of you that want to spread the word for Circle of Life and really empower others to take advantage of the program that is available. And we have created some exciting offerings in that regard. In terms of the first, split up in two. One is related to the incentive available for the self-paced Circle of Life program, which is the $399 self-learning. For every referral, you receive a $200 gift in terms of direct cash payment in that regard. And also for those of you that actually have somebody enroll in the combined program, which includes the self-paced and the Zoom, which is for $12.98, you will receive a $400 for every referral as part of the affiliate program. This is pretty incredible that we have set up, and it's really engaging individuals to have an opportunity to spread the word and actually get something in return for that, and as an appreciation from us. So I'll just turn it over to Kalind or Roger and Rebecca, if you want to share anything related to this. Welcome you to do so.
I would only say that this is something that is a kind of like a reflection of how things work in the 21st century. It's something that we've, been trying to figure out how to manage for years in terms of offering a commission. And so in part, we're putting this out as a, shall we say, this is how we think we should be doing it. But we want to really be mindful of you, and you are our, you're our consciousness. You're our good friends. We have shared values, and so as we, shall we say, experiment with some of these 21st century norms, it's our goal to be as sensitive as possible and also to be as enthusiastic as possible. And so maybe not today or at this time, but over time, we'd love to hear your thoughts about this. Back to you, Malik.
Yeah, and one of the questions is, how would you be able to register as an affiliate? This is something that we will be including in our email communication, but if you are interested, I would request you put your name in the chat box with your email so that we can personally reach out to you and assist you with that process if you do need that support. That's something that we're happy to do. It should be a very simple process the way we're doing it right now, where there's ideally an electronic payment that happens, and it's a very simple registration process even for that. So if you can let us know via chat if you're interested in this, we can kind of get a head start and get that conversation started. Also, one question that was brought up was related to the masterclass and what type of masterclasses. We have had different kinds that we have set up already, whether it is coaching tools, whether it is using the coach approach, asking powerful, effective questions, really subject-specific masterclasses that have been created, and you should be hearing about that soon. And would be getting an opportunity to access that as well. So any questions related to this particular initiative that we have set up for you to really, our perspective is this, that before we go out and empower third parties to really go out there and spread the word, we'd like to give our community the opportunity to benefit from this the most, who has experienced the power of the circle of life and actually get something out of it. So that's hopefully something that is appreciated and beneficial to you as well. So I'll open up to questions before we move to kind of the last part of the program. So I have a question in terms of from Joyce. Joyce, if you can share your question, that would be great. And that way we can have all the coaches participate in that regard.
So I just wondered, this sounds really great. How will you be marketing this? I'm sure you have a marketing plan, and how you push out on this so people really get visibility of this program right now. There's a lot of coaching programs out there, but I've been really clear that I think the Circle of Life is one of the best that was ever created. And so, but we all know it's part of marketing to get the information out there. I
mean, I'll share a few things, and then Roger and Rebecca, you can definitely yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts, and Glenn as well. Our goal is to leverage social media, and not just from posting through our groups, but also engaging in existing communities and groups that have interests in terms of wellness, in terms of personal development, self-growth, and things of that nature, and actually put out there leveraging video and content that will allow for individuals to maximize that. Also, some of the master classes that we have, using that as a funnel to really draw interest towards what we have in terms of the amazing individuals that have created this program and what that is all about. And of course, we have a ever present and ever increasing list of subscribers and people that want to know more and want outlets for that. That's also something that we'll be leveraging. And last but not the least, webinars, where we will give individuals a taste of what Circle of Life is like, and have them experience that in a mini form for themselves. So those are some avenues that we're looking to do. Roger, if you want to, and Colin, if you want to add anything to it.
I just want to say that was really thorough. I was thinking, okay, well, now I'll make this point, then you made it, and then okay, well, I'll get this one. You made it. So I think that was a very comprehensive answer. And the other thing that I would say, which is not really about a specific marketing strategy, but more about the whole concept of who's interested in what kind of coaching programs and how does this all work. And one of the things that's just so powerful about the Circle of Life is that pretty much anybody can become a coach. And there's been a lot going on in the coaching world, and I personally have been watching the coaching world very closely. I know that Kalind has watched it even more closely than myself, but there's a real trend out there that leaves a lot of people with the impression that to become a coach, you have to really climb a mountain. And that if you don't have these super duper special skills, you're not going to be able to make it as a coach. And so then there's all this secondary coaching type opportunities that suggest, if you don't feel satisfied having, studied coaching the way you've studied it so far, then come to my workshop and I'll teach you how to, actually become a coach. And one of the things that's powerful about Circle of Life is that it's a system that if you forget like how to do the system out of your head, then you can just simply return to the system, because in the training we show you how powerful the system is. And coaching can move to intuition. Rebecca's a perfect example of a coach who is a coach to coaches, and people who are very oriented to how to make things happen in their lives, but still aren't there. So the Circle of Life becomes a platform for launching into a bigger version of what coaching really is. But the power of the Circle of Life core system, for an individual who wants to reach out and be a part of how the world is a better place, maybe doesn't have the idea that they want to get a PhD in coaching, or maybe don't even feel like they need to be certified by a certifying body, but they're just moved from the heart to be a part of how the world is a better place, and need a set of guidelines to just follow the way through the process. That is super powerful. And so our goal is to be marketing to people who have a feeling, maybe they want to have a career, maybe they don't want to have a career, maybe they want to be a PhD, maybe they want to get certified, but mainly what they want to do is they want to be a part of how this terribly tormented world has a chance. So anyway, I think that there's a market of people out there that say, well, I could never be a coach. And that's our market. That's one part, a big part. I mean, for me and my intention, that's a big part of our market.
Yes, and I just kind of piggyback on that, is that one of the couple things about the Circle of Life that makes it a little bit more unique is it does have a lot of mindfulness and Qigong practices. And a lot of people are interested in that. And a lot of coaching programs don't have that. And it's so easy to use as a group coaching, which now we can do Zoom, and it makes it less expensive. So those are a couple of things that can be very attractive to potential people who want to be coaches, is that it's a very, you follow the guidelines. You're mainly a container facilitator of the process when you're doing the group coaching. You're facilitating a process. It's already built in. You're teaching some Qigong or mind-body practices that really help people to overcome some of their energy blocks to moving forward. And then again, the group, which makes it really inexpensive for people to do group coaching. And you can support a lot of people because they can be together, they can be in breakout rooms. So those are, well, I'd love any ideas from you, Joyce, about marketing. I know that's one of your areas, but this is what we've got so far.
Thank you. Thank you. Sounds great.
All right.
I'll share. This is a lot of thing that attracted me most and still keep me there is the simplicity of the process. In many things can be very complex, but this is so simple. That's number one. It's like you said, intuition and simplicity. And the second thing is fail safe. Roger already pointed it out. And more often when we follow the fail safe, what are the 3 or 4 elements that we identify during this, teaching and everything? These are the 3 or 4 elements that will make you okay. It will not fail. And so how you really imbibe that. So the process is phenomenal. And that going to the next comment that I have is I've been on a search for an update of all the skill sets that ICF has put out, ISC has put out, and now CCE is putting out. They've combined all of that, and it's becoming a real mess in reality. But interesting thing that I want to point out to everyone here is that Patrick Williams, when he presented recently in one of these update meetings that he did with ICF, he was very excited about the fact that for the first time that ICF has identified the coach mindset requirement as one of the skill sets. Now it's fascinating that it's just they've only read the mindset part of it, where the energy and all the things have been there existing in Circle of Life forever. So I believe very, honestly, that we are, in reality, Roger and Rebecca have been ahead of the curve, but we need to really manifest that ourselves, how it is so. And I think it's an obvious thing. People will understand the simplicity of it and how it can always work.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. And now, just to kind of move on to the part, and we'll open up to questions at the end. But the last part is, and I'll love to have Rebecca share as well and engage as you like, is something that would like to request all of you to participate and share. Is one is testimonials. One of the things that we would love for all of you to do is, and I'll go through each one. Why would you do that? What type, and so on and so forth, is, a testimonial, because we'd love to hear from individuals that have experienced the coaching process, that have used this coaching process in their life, any of their clients and what they have benefited from. That's something that we'd love to hear from you. So one is we'd love to have that and share that with the world. We would love to hear individuals and the impact this coaching process has had on you or any of your clients. Secondly, our goal is to really create a library of testimonials that is accessible to any of the coaches, where you can leverage that as credibility about the program and its impact that it has on different individuals. And so it's not only just for Circle of Life Coach Institute in terms of the actual program, but it's also for you as a coach on somebody starting off your practice. How do you highlight the power of Circle of Life? And this is one great way to do that. number two, what are the types of testimonials? And we'd like you to, at least two of these, if not more. One is the experience you've had, because each one of you has used the Circle of Life coaching process on yourself. And what has been the benefit of that for you? And what is the experience that you've had? And what are the positive changes that have occurred within you? Number two would be in terms of your clients, that if you have a client that has experienced something, if they're willing to share, that's great. Or you can share about the impact that you have witnessed in your clients with the use of Circle of Life. And last but not the least, as part of the coach training, that as a coach, when you were experiencing and when you took this training, what was it that set this apart, and what was the impact that you were able to leverage in your coaching practice from Circle of Life? I'll ask Rebecca to add to anything so far from what I shared. Would love to hear your thoughts so far, and then I can kind of proceed forward.
Thank you, Malik. Yes, so of course, testimonials that's why we buy things, right? You go on Amazon, you look at what people are saying, you look at a course, and you think, yeah, it sounds like a good thing. And then you see a testimonial that go, oh, well, I'm like that person, or I could have those changes too. And so it's really, really important for you as a coach, if you're for your website or whatever materials you're putting out there to the world, is to know the benefits and to have a wide range. And how you would benefit from it, just like Malik said, is you can draw from those. And even if it wasn't your client, you can draw from that. This is what people are experiencing with the Circle of Life. And also it helps to us because we're a very mission-based institute organization. We're here to empower, support people. We want people to be, living their best life and sharing that with their family and their communities. And more than ever, we really all need to be together and really up our self-care because, we want to be healthy, resilient, living our life purpose, contributing. And so we want this to reach as many people as possible. So when we have the testimonials, that really supports the Circle of Life's mission to have a bigger presence. And, if we have a variety of testimonials, then different people go, oh, wow, that really helped her with her health, or that really helped, they learned all these self-care practices and now they're sleeping better, or they're lost 10 pounds or whatever it is that is specific, a change that happened for you when you're using the process. And again, some people, like Roger was saying, it's kind of maybe you took the training a long time ago, but there's some things that you kind of are still weaving in your life. Or maybe it's time you want to bring it back into your life. So the benefit for you is that if the Circle of Life gets more presence and is more successful, then when you're like launching your Circle of Life coaching or just your coaching work, you are part of that thriving organization. And so people go, wow, this is like, they're trained, certified in this process, or this is the process they use. Look at all these testimonials. These, I want to be, I'd like her to be my coach or him to be my coach, or this seems really, I'd like my organization to have this kind of coaching. So it's mutually beneficial for all of us. And if you write, and I want to make sure you understand what those testimonials are, I may have Malik say it again. If you write the two testimonials, kind of your own experience of how the Circle of Life has helped you and supported you to make a change. And again, when we're doing testimonials, and this is a tip for your, building your coaching practice too, is you don't want a general one. Like people used to say, oh, Rebecca's really great. And, I like, hear a compelling testimonial. Let me see if I can see this a little better. Like something specific, because if it's general, it just is, people's eyes glaze, they don't take it in. But you know, I started the process and I lost, you know, 15 pounds and I'm, you know, feeling, looking the way I want to look, and I have more energy, or improved a relationship, or you had a promotion at work, or you're having more self-care. So how has that changed your life? And what was that self-care? Or maybe you know how to prioritize your well-being. You know how to like say no to all the pulls there are in life. You know, maybe you say yes to yourself. And what happened? Like I had a client, I just wrapped up some sessions with her, and she said, I don't yell at my husband anymore. Like we have, it was her big, and she said, what's happened is there's harmony in her house. The tension is less. It's better for the kids. She feels, she lost weight because they had this constant conflict that we worked on. Like, how can you be, you know, what communication skills? What do you need to do to really get connected to yourself? And it's rippled out into every aspect of her life. And so what changed, and what was the ripple effect? What changed as we look at the circle? You know, there's 12 areas. What other areas were affected by making that one change? How did you feel? What was the feeling? What was the actual change? And then also as the next question, what do you appreciate about the circle of life, or the approach? As a coach, what do you appreciate about the circle of life process? Because do you like it because it's holistic and it's got a structure, but there's step by step, and it has the mind body practices. There's it's a holistic approach, so you ask a lot of questions. The person's really answering the questions. It makes it easier for you. What is it that you like? Why do you like using the circle of life approach? And what's the positive impact you have witnessed with your clients? What have you noticed? Sometimes with our clients, I know even with my clients, sometimes they forget. Like, I have to remind them about what the changes were. They're like, yeah, well, yeah. You know, they get, you know, we get so into the now and on to the next problem. Sometimes I have to look back, you know, of course I'm a coach, I track everything. Like I track their words, what was going on with them, like, you know, all the way. So I can look back and say, wow, well, you know, now you're getting 7 or 8 hours of sleep. And before you were waking up every night and you were really tired and you were drinking, you know, 7 cups of coffee to stay awake. Now you're like getting 6 hours of sleep, 7 hours of sleep, 8 hours of sleep. You quit drinking coffee, which was making you have a headache, anxious, and, you know, affected your digestion. And you have more energy, and you were able to like feel better at work and in your life. You had some energy left at the end of the day to take a walk and do something fun. So what positive impact have you witnessed with your clients? And I'll let, you know, we'll open up to any questions you have about those testimonials. So there'll be 2. 1, your own changes, and 2 is the impact, either what did you like as being a circle of life coach? What do you like about the process? How do you like using it? And, or what's the positive impact you've seen with your clients? And if you do those 2, at least 2 testimonials, any of these areas, then I am going to provide a 2-session masterclass on building a successful coaching practice. So I'm going to do it at different times so that everybody can come live. So I'll be on 2 different days, and any questions you have, I'll be just coaching you on anything you want. Marketing, how do I just, what kind of coaching do I really want to do? Who's my target market? How do I reach them? What do I charge? How do I do an online class? Anything you have, or like, I don't know, you know, these kind of, I'm kind of uncomfortable when these things come up in my sessions, you know, in a group, whatever it is that would support you. So before we go on, do you have questions about those testimonials, what they are, and any questions about the gift that you receive if you do those? Or even if you didn't want the gift and you just want to be a part of supporting the circle of life to reach as many people as we can, communities, the world as much, that would be just greatly appreciated.
Where do we send them?
Thank you, Karen. So Malik, maybe Malik, you could, this is a good time for to say like how you interact with us, what our different roles are.
Yeah, sure. And one last point that I'll just mention that we would love to have if ideally speaking, we'd love to have a video-based testimonial if it is possible at all. If that is not something that you're comfortable, we would love at least a picture and a word-based testimonial. Because nowadays with the social commerce and everything like that and the social scene, one of the most powerful thing is, in order to make something social proof, as they say, is a video-based testimony to really see somebody else experience the same thing. So that's one thing. What I would say is that there are a couple of different ways. One, you can of course email it to us directly at our email address, which is circleoflife@healthaction.net, and that will typically reach all of us in that regard. If the size of the video is too large or something like that, you can just email us there, and I can share a shared drop link for our share drive, where you can upload that video, and we will be happy to note that down. So I'll be sending this in email to all of you so that you have this information. So it's not something that we just are throwing out here and hoping you guys take notes. We will include this in the email, but yeah, you can send it to us at circleoflife at healthaction.net, and reach out, send it to us via that, or let us know if it's too big, and we'll send a shared drive link where you can upload it to us.
I have a question.
Yes.
So can they do that on their phone, the video?
Yeah, they can do it on their phone. Be authentic. We're not looking for something that's an inauthentic experience. You can be outside with your cell phone and just talking in and being genuine and sincere. If you want to dress up and do it in front of your computer, that's fine too. We just want genuine, sincere, and authentic a testimonial from anybody that's willing to share, really.
So they can do it on Zoom?
Mm-hmm. They can record themselves on Zoom. They can utilize QuickTime on their computer.
Or their phone.
We use their phone and record yourself, which is probably the easiest in selfie mode, and do it that way, or have somebody.
Yeah, and if they were to do that, would they do all three of their testimonials, or just like just their one? Like maybe describe which testimonials have what.
I would say if you do it in 3 separate videos, we can sort of figure out what the testimonials are about. That would be great. If you do it in one, say testimonial 1, and start recording testimonial 2 and start recording, so we know where the testimonial ends. In terms of content, we can figure that out. That's not a problem. They don't necessarily need to be labeled, but if you do, hey, more power to you, and we'd appreciate it.
And also, if they can't do that, then we'd appreciate a photo, a little
photo and a written and a permission to use it on our social media platform, so that we can actually do it without any issues going forward.
I want to be sure that we let people who need to go, because this has been a pretty lengthy meeting, and we can also stay and chat with anybody who wants to chat, or Malik, back to you, however you want to wrap it up.
No, that works. The last part for this is to just open up to any questions or clarifications. I know Rebecca mentioned about our roles. So, Roger, if you want to cover that a little bit, each one can share a couple of lines about that to just refresh everybody. And that way individuals know who to reach out to for what, if it is something that they want to do individually.
Yeah, I think I'm acting as spokesperson, a coach, and a coach to coaches, and I'll leave it there and pass it to Rebecca.
And so I will be doing part of the live trainings. Pretty much, I did the hybrid. I will be interacting here and there, just like some support if you need support, but mainly the support mostly goes to, and questions go to Malik, who's our director, and he fields the emails and sees who needs to address those. And then Kalind. Oh,
Clint, can you unmute yourself, please?
So my role will be coaching, coach training, and also all the things about certifications, accreditations, any of the things that are needed, program development. Say you bring a specialty thing, and I will help you work out with the help of Roger and Rebecca to see how it fits. So, you know, going forward with the COLCI would be something that will work as a team, but that's something that would be my role mostly.
Okay, thank you. And again, please direct any certification related queries. If you do send it to circleoflife@healthaction.net, Kalin will be the one that will be kind of supporting you in that regard as well. Myself, in terms of any admin related questions, anything technology related, some of the marketing initiatives that we're doing, and also, you know, there's an engagement in terms of program creation as well. So a little bit of jack of all trades, and I try my best to support not only the team, but also to the community out there. Most of you that receive an email from Circle of Life, it's me that's sending it. So, you know, pardon my grammatical errors if there are. But that's basically the person that you'll be the front facing individual for any questions, clarifications, and support in that regard. So that's kind of my role. We'll kind of open up at this point to any question. Those of you that would like to carry forward with your day, you're welcome to do so. But you know, before that, I'll just turn it over to all of you for your closing remarks, and then we can open up the floor for questions.
Yeah, just thank you so much, and I won't take any more time right now. Look forward to more connection.
The question I have is, I masked up here because I have a visitor came in. The information about the 3 types of testimonials and the points to include, can you make that available again? I didn't get a note on all that.
Yes, I'm actually going to be, I'll include the screenshot right now. Oops, let me send it to everybody.
Maybe we could send it in the email.
We'll be sending in the email as well, but if anybody wants to, you know, they're very excited and would like to do it right now, I've included the screenshot that Rhonda so kindly took with the points related to a compelling testimonial. So you can check your chat box and it should be there. All right, with that, we will open up to any questions if there are any. Otherwise, we can wrap up this wonderful gathering. All right. Thank you very much, everybody, for joining us. We truly appreciate it. It's something that we look forward to doing more often and engaging with you across every platform. Again, please reach out to us with any support that you need, any other ways that we can be of assistance and collaborate in any way, shape, and form. We have big plans, and your support is crucial in that process. And in our goal, a big pillar is to be there for our graduates and coaches and empower you in every way, shape, and form to make that happen. So with that, thank you very much, everybody, and have a rest of the day and week.
Thank you, everyone. It's so good to see you all. Blessings to you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yes.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Well, take care now. Bye-bye.
Bye.